virtual cooking event, FitSquad and Meals, coming to you live from the Meals kitchen. So I'm going to introduce our celebrity chef, Lottie Murdoch. I'm sure some of you probably already seen her around FitSquad, executive chef of Miss Littlemore's herself, and also partner at Meals. She's also, had the pleasure of cooking for celebrities such as Will Smith. No big deal.
No biggie.
So I'm going to turn things over to Lonnie, and we're going to kick things off with a little welcome, Ebony.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
Can everyone hear Lonnie? Thumbs up if you can hear me.
I can't see any of you, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. But also, we're live streaming. Hi, Alda. We're live streaming on our YouTube channel. So for the people who are tuning in through Meals, I'm just going to do a quick introduction of who Jen is. And Jen is like one of the most extraordinary people I know. She is Canada's only female Nike Master Trainer. She is a co-owner of FitSquad. She is a champion of the Safe Health and Wellness Initiative that's happening right now in Toronto. She's a supermodel because she's in all kinds of like ads, and you can find her on the Nike NTC app, all kinds of things. Anyways, I just wanted to introduce her. She's an amazing person. She's also a holistic nutritionist, if I'm correct. So she's going to be walking us through just, some little details about health and tips and tricks about healthy eating, and I'll cook while she talks.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to kick off with, so the YouTube link is in our chat. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them into our chat. We'll try to get to them. If we need to go faster or slower. We'll get started. So we've got Smooth Blend to kick off. So if you guys opened your box and found yourself the blend package, we're going to start with that.
So we're gonna make a little cocktail, and honestly, there's a recipe on their website, and it is for a larger quantity. So I played with it yesterday, and honestly, you can just kind of use maybe like a half a teaspoon, if that, for your own individual beverage. I'll wait. I see Aldo's struggling to get his stuff out of his box, so I'll wait for Aldo. So we're gonna use the Smooth product, maple syrup. I have a huge jug here, but you don't need this much. Maple syrup, the sparkling water, and lemon, and warm water. So you're gonna have to dissolve your, it can be like room temp water, but just not cold water because you want it to dissolve. And some ice, which I did not get. Jen, can you get us some ice, please? There's the ice machine right there. And there's a bowl right behind you. Sous Chef Jen is getting ice. So you're just gonna put your Smooth into a bowl, and with your lukewarm warm or warm water, I have some water that's just sitting here. So you're gonna dissolve that first in a bowl. If you've got a whisk, you can use a whisk. I have a huge whisk for this teeny little bowl. So you're just gonna dissolve it, stir it up until all of that powder is, that's up to you. If you want it super sweet, then you would use more maple syrup. So my water is a little bit cold, so this might be a little bit clumpy. But anyways, you're just gonna mix it up, and then just let it sit until we finish everything else. So you're gonna take your lemon, keep half of your lemon because you're gonna need the rest of it for the actual cooking part. I have a squeezer. If you don't have a squeezer, that's okay. I don't have my squeezer, so I'm not gonna squeeze. Your maple syrup. I'm gonna put in a teaspoon, but you can put in however much you want. So mix that up. I'm also gonna do a little lemon slice just to make it pretty. Add your ice to your glass.
I think I got you the largest bowl for 6 cubes of ice.
Yeah. Jen is a great sous chef.
Not my kitchen. Not my kitchen.
Okay, so now you're just gonna pour the smooth into the glass.
Ooh.
So pretty.
So each spoonful is actually the equivalent of 3 servings of fruit and vegetables.
Then you're gonna take your lemon, squeeze your lemon in. And if you've got the squeezer, it's even better because you're gonna yield a little bit more lemon juice. I have like every utensil in the world in this kitchen, and I didn't bring the squeezer over, so get that in there. Open your sparkling water. Top it up, so pretty. And then in your bag was also, I think, strawberries and blueberries. So just for garnish, drop some blueberries in there. And then your strawberry, you're just gonna, oh, I didn't even make you any, Jen.
What?
I was supposed to make 2 glasses and I forgot to make you one. I'm gonna share with her, don't worry. And then you'll just split your strawberry, put it on the side there. I have mint. You don't have to put mint in it, but I have mint handy. And there's your little cocktail. So I'm gonna give that to you.
Thank you.
There you
So
go,
an
since
adult
I
drink-
forgot about you.
An adult drink them.
Oh, and if you wanted to, if you were so inclined, taste it and tell me, does it need more lemon or more maple syrup?
No, it's perfect. I don't like anything super sweet.
Okay, yeah, me neither. Yes, if you were so inclined, I believe, ooh, or even gin. Vodka or some gin in there would be, so you'd be getting like, what did you say, how many antioxidants?
Oh, what? 3 servings?
3 servings of fruit?
Of fruit and vegetables, yeah.
3 servings of fruit and vegetables and a nightcap all in one. Okay,
And some fun.
and some fun all in one. Okay, so that's good. We've got our cocktail to kind of, and if you want, we can you can get the vodka and put it in there right now. All it will do is just make my food taste even better. So go ahead, add vodka, no judgment. Okay, so now what are we doing? Now where are we? So, first thing I want you guys to do is to preheat your oven to 350. Are they preheating? You're gonna preheat to 350 and you're going to take your garlic. You can add more garlic. I just sent you guys 2 cloves but you can add more if you want. If you like your stuff garlicky, add more garlic. There are no rules in cooking. That is my only rule for cooking. There are no rules for cooking. So get your garlic and get your onion.
Okay, I can't wait to see the best way to cut garlic and onions.
Okay, well the garlic is already
Smashed.
peeled, so that's a great thing. And we're gonna roast it, so we're not actually cutting it. But if you do, you want me to do it? I could do it for you.
What's your tip for chopping onions though?
Oh, for chopping onions? Okay. So you cut off the end, not the root, and then peel off the skin. Yeah, like everybody has their own, whatever, their
How
own.
does Will Smith like it?
Oh my Lord. You want honest? You want dirt? You want tea? You want gossip?
I think all the dirt on Will's elbow.
There is definitely a list of do not makes. Yeah.
He doesn't like onions?
They have to be like they have to be in something, so no raw onion. There's lots of and you know what? Now that I think of the list, I feel like it's based on personal interaction. So no raw onions, kale if it's in something, but finally, yeah, he doesn't want to have kale in his teeth and bad onion breath but yeah, he was actually a great person.
So that means he's a close talker?
No, he's not actually. He's a really good guy. He was probably, I mean, I've known him for many years, so it's not like, oh, it's Will Smith. It's like, oh, it's Will. At this point, I feel like my mom is more of a celebrity than he is. So, okay, so you're gonna have you've peeled your onion and you've left on the root. Some people will cut off part of the root, but like, why bother? Cut it in half, and then you're gonna shimmy in. So you're cutting like little layers. And then you cut basically like as far back, close to the root as you can. And then you're gonna cut in strips. We don't really have to do this for this meal. I'm just showing you how to cut it. And then we'll use the other half for what we need it for. So like so. And then when you dice, you've got this little itty bitty mince. There's your cooking lesson for the day, kids. Okay, so, but we're not actually going to, did I just cut myself? No. We're not actually we don't have to use the mince. If you don't want to roast the onion, which is what we were about to do, you could literally just put it in the frying pan. So either one is fine for the sauce. For this sauce, we are going to roast the garlic and the onion. So, we're making chicken parm and eggplant parm. That I did not say because it was a mystery box thing. But I'm going to throw this onion in there anyway, just because we chopped it and I don't want to waste it. So you're going to get some tin foil or parchment and put your onion and your garlic in there. I also gave you guys some olive oil. So you're just going to give it a little squeeze of olive oil. Jen, you want to talk about the benefits of olive oil?
I love olive oil on anything.
Yeah.
Avocado oil.
I've got avocado oil too.
Oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, olive oil, of course, has tons of antioxidants, great fatty acids. I mean, it makes your skin. I love J-Lo, and when J-Lo.
Right.
So, this is probably not the conventional way of using olive oil, but when she first came on the scene, one of the things that she talked about in an article, and I will never forget this, is she used to cover her face and her hair in olive oil and her hands in olive oil and sleep.
Maybe that's why she got so many divorces.
It's
like sleeping with a salad. But yes, it has so many like topical benefits as well. But for this type of thing, like for roasting, for lower heat items, like not frying. I never like to fry in olive oil, but like roasting, braising, and then like dressing salads and that sort of thing. I love to use olive oil because it just imparts like a better flavor than some of the other ones. And then if you're doing something that's like frying or high heat, then you want to use something that has a higher smoke point, like avocado or coconut or butter. I like butter. Yeah. Okay, so you're just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on there, and then you're going to toss that in the oven while we prepare everything else. I did not preheat my oven. Everybody else preheated. I did not preheat my oven. Are they chopping? Okay, continue to chop. Get all your stuff. Get all your... Okay. I don't, like I have a recipe, but I'm not even gonna just...
Maybe speak a little louder. They're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh. Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
So, Minnie's asking, so onion, garlic, salt, olive oil, that's it.
Yes, and then into the oven. Oh yeah, now I can see. Okay. So now we are going to get the ingredients for our sauce together. So we've got San Marzano cherry. You know what's funny? I saw your post the other day, and we're basically making Jen's sauce. I didn't even know it was your sauce.
Traditional.
Yes. So, Dave, can you pass me
Just speak louder. I turned my...
the can opener right where you're standing? So we're gonna get our sauce together. Thank you. So you're gonna open your tomatoes. I swear this is my kitchen. I know how to use everything. Okay, maybe not. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Hold on. Okay. Open your tomatoes. There we go. Don't cut yourself. If you've got a bowl handy, you can put them in a bowl. And then you are just going to crush them down a little bit. You can use a spoon. You're cooking for yourself. You can use your hands. Whatever you want. And then just set that aside. And while we are waiting for our onions and our garlic to go, we will get all of our other stuff ready, like our sides, like our pasta. So some of you are making gluten-free pasta, which is quinoa based. Some of you are making just regular wheat pasta. And some of you are doing zucchini noodles. So for the ones who are doing zucchini noodles, your zucchini noodles are already, I so graciously zoodled them for you. I have to zoodle my own, which I also don't have my zoodler. Where's my zoodler? Talk, say something. I'll get it, I'll get it. You talk. It's a seed? I thought it was a grain. I thought it was a grain. I have to turn mine off when I'm on. So you can, I'm just zoodling, so you can chat while I zoodle. Because I don't know that my zoodler is not really working very well. Keep talking.
That was super fun.
Do you want to zoodle?
I can zoodle and you continue.
Here you go. You zoodle. I don't zoodle in the kitchen. It is not my role. Chief zoodler in charge is not me. Is it working? I have another one if you need another one. No, that's not a zoodle. It's just a z. Hold on. Let me get another zoodler. It's working? No, it's not working. It'll be more fun to watch you use this one. Okay, I'm going to plug in the other zoodler. Oh yes, you can put on your pasta water to boil. I don't know how to use this either. Okay, so we're going to put on the pasta water. You're going to salt your water. You always want to salt your pasta water. Always makes it taste better.
Are you supposed to salt before or afterwards?
Oh, actually it's working. Okay. All it needed was some FitSquad muscle. Okay, so I'm not going to use this zoodler then. Do you salt your water before or after? I salt it before, and then you should taste it. You should taste your salt water. So it should taste like the ocean.
Oh, that's salty.
Well, yes. Okay, so in real life cooking, for yourself at home. You can choose your salt level. If you were to think about it in terms of like flavor, you would definitely want to be able to at least taste the salt. So if you're on low sodium, skip the salt altogether. If you're on a low sodium diet, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But if you're cooking sheerly for enjoyment and pleasure and want the most out of your food, salt your water, and then you'll be able to taste it, and you'll be able to. Is this on? Guys, I'm like literally using things I've never used before in this kitchen just for you guys tonight, and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, there we go. Everything's ready. So my onions and my garlic are now in the oven. My pot is actually on. And my water is going to boil. I'm going to add some salt to my water. It's about 3 teaspoons. Yeah, fine. Give it a stir. And then once the salt dissolves in the water, I'll just give it a little taste to make sure that I can actually taste the salt. A little bit more.
Have the noodles? Are we boiling the noodles?
We are going to boil the noodles as soon as our water comes to a rapid boil.
The zoodles.
Oh, the zoodles are ready to go.
Okay.
The zoodles, you guys have to do absolutely nothing to. They're ready to go. I took care of that for you. So really what I should have done was also roast your garlic for you so that we didn't have to wait for it. But if anything, we can skip across to, hi, oh, what's her name? Blonde, what's her name?
Leah's asking. I know.
Is that Leah?
Yeah. She was like, are we boiling the zoodles?
No, Leah, you don't have to boil the zoodles. Yes, you have to wait to eat the zoodles, but you don't have to boil them. So, but what we'll get to the rest of it once the water boils and our garlic and our onions are softening up in the oven. But like I said, you don't have to do it in the oven. We might not have time to actually wait for it to soften up in the oven, but that's how I normally do it. I just put it in the oven and then let it roast out until it's nice and soft. Okay, so other things we're gonna need for our sauce. We've got our bay leaves. We're gonna put those in once it gets boiling. We've got Italian seasoning, but you guys could use your own, and you could also use fresh. So some of the things that I do in the kitchen in terms of like the meal prep would be slightly different than what I would do at home. I might use a little bit more fresh herbs at home, but when you're cooking like, 75 chicken parms as opposed to like one, it gets to be a lot of fresh herbs being chopped. So we're using an organic Italian seasoning mix. Chili flakes if you like it hot. I like chili flakes in my Italian stuff as opposed to like any kind of other pepper. And then for our breadcrumb mixture for our chicken, we are using, which you guys have, a combination of hemp hearts and gluten-free breadcrumbs. So it's a little bit different than traditional eggplant parm because we're not going to fry it. We're just going to brown the chicken and then finish it off in the oven. We're going to have some time to chat. So I hope you have lots to talk about. Okay, so one thing also that I did not put in your box, but it doesn't matter, it's fine. If you've got a carrot in your fridge, bring it out. If not, and you have a sweetener such as sugar, or in the kitchen here we use monk fruit sugar, any kind of like sweetener that you want, not honey. Although honey would probably be good too. But we're just gonna use that to sweeten up the sauce. So if you've got a carrot, bring it out and we'll chop that bad boy up. I'll show you a little tip on how to chop your carrots. So when you're dicing your carrot, you're just going to give yourself a flat plane. So you're just going to slice off a little part of it so that when you put it back on your cutting board, it doesn't roll around. It doesn't go anywhere. Then you can save the fingers, yes. So then you're just going to chop it into the little planks. Chop that little plank a couple more times into matchsticks. Line those matchsticks up and then chop away, and then you've got a nice fine dice. And the reason we're using a carrot, and like I said, if you don't have a carrot, you can use another sweetener, is just to kind of balance out the acidity from the tomatoes and to sweeten up your sauce a little bit.
That is a pro tip I learned like last year. I had no idea.
Yeah, so
I didn't know to do that, and
it makes a huge difference. So a lot of times when I'm cooking, in particular for like meal prep, trying to think of like cooking for everybody, so everybody has like a different something that they're trying to achieve. So in order to kind of like please everybody, we'll go like low salt and low sugar. So this is a great way to sweeten it up without adding additional sugar. And then a lot of times I use a lot of vinegar, a lot of lemon, that sort of thing to kind of give it the whatever that mouth taste that you get from like salt and oil, and because you can't really do that when you're cooking for everybody. So like pro tip, yeah, use lots of lemon, lots of vinegar, and because when you're in a restaurant and you're like, oh my God, my pasta doesn't taste like this. Why doesn't my pasta taste like this? It's because there's a guy in the back bringing out bricks of butter and like pails of salt. And that's why it tastes so good. So if you want to try and kind of mimic that flavor and that kind of mouthfeel that you get from like really rich foods, you have to find that like acid oil balance by using different things. So like sweetening with these things, tomato paste, vinegar, that kind of stuff. So you can also, if you have heirloom carrots, you can use heirloom carrots too. That doesn't have to be an orange carrot. It could be whatever.
heirloom carrots sweeter than regular carrots.
No.
Why are they so expensive?
They're old. That's why. It's the seeds.
Yeah.
It's the seeds that make them expensive.
They're prettier.
They're pretty. They're much prettier. But no, I don't necessarily think they're sweeter. They cook faster. They cook faster than other carrots. I don't know why that is, but anyways. And there's like, guys, I'm not doing any measurements because it really, like I said, doesn't matter. When you eyeball it, this is probably about 3 tablespoons of carrot, and that's probably good for what we're going to be doing. And if you're doing sugar, you'll just add it maybe like 1/4 teaspoon at a time, just until you feel that like sharp kind of acid taste is mellowed out. But we'll get to that point. You have to say more things because I feel like I'm talking a lot. They're cooking?
Yeah, they're cooking.
Okay, good.
Just have to be loud.
Okay. We should have probably moved that closer to me. Okay. So people who have the eggplant, we'll cut your eggplant now. So you can literally cook as many pieces as you want. Typically, I do like a 3-tiered eggplant parm, and I do them. Okay, I don't know what really the inch is. I'm going to say an inch, but I have no idea if it's an inch. Okay, 3/4 to an inch. They're all probably different. Yeah, they're all different sizes, but again, it's fine. So you're just going to take your eggplant and you're going to salt it a little bit. So just a teeny little bit of sprinkle of salt on there, and then you're just going to leave it while we finish everything else because that's just going to draw the moisture out of it a little bit. And then for people who have chicken, you're going to do the exact same thing. So you're just going to, we're like not doing a whole lot of seasoning. We're going to take it out and salt it up a little. So with typical, in a typical traditional eggplant parm recipe, you would pound it out and you would flatten it, put it in breadcrumbs, fry it up in a pan. We're not going to do that because we're cooking it and finishing it in the oven. We don't want to pound it too thin because then it'll dry out. So we're just going to leave it in the state that it's in.
Eggplant's so good for this stuff, like for vegetarians, like for burgers, it's just so meaty.
Yeah, MJ loves it. Like she's a huge fan.
You know that chicken has the most amount of protein per 100 grams in the world. What has the most amount of protein? It's chicken and turkey. My faves.
Turkey has, oh yeah?
Yep, it's up there.
Did not know that. So we're gonna leave those things sit and we will prepare our broccoli. We are making roasted broccoli. So you're gonna take your broccoli, give it a wash. Wash. Yeah. There's a sink right there. So we're gonna give your broccoli a little wash. Always wash your veggies. Even if they're organic, they were on Big Al's truck for like, who knows what Big Al did in the back of that truck. So you always wanna wash them off before you cook them. And then you're just gonna cut them into florets. And because we're roasting, you wanna do maybe a little bit smaller than you typically would if you were just going to blanch them. So itty bitty ones like that. If you've never had roasted broccoli, it's delicious. Much better than steamed. It's amazing, like people will be like, oh, I hate vegetables. And I'm like, why do you hate vegetables? They're so good. And then you see the kind of vegetables you eat and you're like, that's why you hate them. You just like cooked all of the life.
Brown.
Yeah, that's not supposed to be the color of broccoli. Or like they have like, just frozen peas and carrots. And if you like almost every type of vegetable you can roast and it tastes way better than anything you've ever had before. So just into a bowl or on a plate or on your counter, whatever it is that you're gonna do. Again, with the olive oil, you're just gonna give it a little zhuzh with some olive oil. And again, a little salt. I'm using kosher salt. That's what you guys have in your container. It has a little bit less sodium than table salt, and I just think it brings out the flavor better in food than traditional table salt. You can also use pink Himalayan. It's also really good.
Love Himalayan salt. It
Yeah.
has high amounts of iodine in it, and it's pretty.
It is pretty, yes. So just give your broccoli a little bath in the olive oil. It's okay if it's a little bit damp, as long as it gets mixed in that olive oil and salt. You can also give it a little squeeze of the lemon that you used earlier. If you have a zester, you could zest some lemon zest on there. That would also be really good. Okay, that's just gonna sit to the side. Our garlic is probably still hard, not gonna lie. Probably should have thought about that beforehand. But that's fine. So we're gonna mix our breadcrumb mixture. So just get a little bowl, or actually yours I think is already mixed. So if you were doing this at home and you wanted to kind of recreate it, it's literally just half and half. So half of the hemp hearts and half breadcrumb. So yours is already mixed, but give it a little shake up in your container so that it's all ready to go. If you guys like it super spicy, you can add some chili flakes into this mixture. And then you can use some more chili flakes as garnish afterwards. And then we are using today a vegan cheese. It's Nafsika's we're doing a combination of mozzarella and Parmesan. That's what's in your container there. These shreds, that's gonna go on your chicken. Oh, my thing unplugged. My water, is anybody's water boiling?
Whose water? Everyone's water is boiling?
My pot turned off. So I'm just gonna go put it out back here. Man, Jen, put this on yours. So hit the button there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then hit yeah. Oh, yeah. Keep going. Yep. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? It's pretty straightforward.
I really like the use of the hen parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you come up with that?
My brain.
All in here.
All in here.
Great for like omegas, high in omegas. And
Yes.
it gives that texture.
Yes, we also, I also here make hemp heart tabbouleh. So like instead of using like couscous or whatever, like sometimes we do quinoa, but we did like a roasted hemp heart tabbouleh. It is so good. Okay. Water's boiling. Chicken and eggplant are salting, kind of waiting for some of that moisture to come out. And we have our fancy terminology, mise en place, which means we have everything ready to go when we're ready to get cooking, which in real time should be right now. But we have to wait for the water. Jen will put on the noodles when the water starts boiling. I think for time's sake, we might have to just throw the onion and stuff in a pan. So we'll check on our garlic and onion and see how it's doing. If it's not soft enough, so let's see. It's pretty soft. Mine's pretty soft. So you would want your garlic to be squeezable, like a little more soft than it is now, but for time's sake, we're fine with how it is. So onions are nice and soft, garlic is nice and soft. You're gonna toss that into your pan. Where's my other pan? Can I have the pan that you had? Thank you. So for this, you're going to use the avocado oil. So in your box, there was another one that had an A. That's avocado oil. So we're gonna just put a little bit of avocado oil in the pan, and then finish roasting off our onion and carrot. So for the onion, I would say probably about half of what I gave you is good. And both cloves of garlic. And again, if you like your stuff super garlicky, feel free to add more. So you're just gonna let that cook down a little bit. Oh yeah, ours is gonna be really garlicky. I put like 4 of them in there.
I love garlic. Great in for antioxidants. High in antioxidant
And flavor, all the flavor. Okay, so that's gonna cook down a little bit. We are going to take some of, then you're gonna take your carrots, if you've got carrot. If you don't, then you'll save the sugar until you're cooking. So if you've got your carrot chopped, throw that in there as well and give it a little stir. And you're just gonna sweat this down a little bit. You don't want it to get too brown. You just wanna let the moisture come out of your carrots and your onions.
The pan has
Yes. Avocado oil in the pan because that surface is going to get hotter than it did kind of like in contact with your garlic and your onion than it did in the oven. Like the oven, the heat was kind of surrounding it, but when it's direct heat in a pan, you want to use something that has a higher smoke point. So the smoke point is like when the oil starts to smoke, literally, and at that smoke point, depending on the oil, some of them will go rancid. So olive oil works best in low heat. Things like grapeseed oil, avocado oil, walnut, that kind of stuff, peanut oil, those all have a higher smoking point. So they're better for things that are on direct heat, like a searing, a frying, that sort of thing. Okay, so now you've got your onions and your garlic in there. You're gonna take your tomato paste, about 2 tablespoons of your tomato paste. And you're
Loving the tips and tricks.
Ah, thanks. So about 2 tablespoons or more of your tomato paste, depending, like I said, no real rules. Is that boiling?
Yeah.
You can throw in this. So you're gonna put your tomato paste in, and then you're gonna cook that tomato paste. So you want, it's okay if you're seeing like your bottom of your pan is getting a little brown and your tomato paste is sticking to it. You want that tomato paste to become like a really dark, rich color. Color is the word I'm looking for. So you can see my pan, it looks like it's burning. I'm okay with that. It's not really burning, it's the tomato paste is kind of cooking to that pan. Obviously you don't want it to get like too black and too burnt on the bottom, but you'll see that tomato paste starts to change color and it becomes like more of a deep red color. Once it gets to that deep red color, you know you're ready to move on to that next step. So this is looking pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and pour our tomatoes in. Sorry, wrong. You're gonna put in your Italian seasoning. So add that seasoning to your tomato paste and then just give it a good stir. Mix it all in there. So mine is very deep red. I don't know if you can see that. It's like totally changed color now. It's no longer like that bright red color that came out of the can. And now you're just gonna deglaze with those tomatoes. So you guys can just throw in the whole can. Like I'm just gonna throw in the whole can. So give it a stir, and then that will deglaze your pan. Break up those tomatoes.
That smells good.
Oh, this thing has a hot spot. This thing is so temperamental. Just like me. Oh, do you want to stir your noodles so they don't clump together? That's the thing about if you're using the gluten-free noodles, I will say this. Keep stirring them, watch them, because they go from not done to overdone to muck, yeah, very, very easily. So unlike, they're not as forgiving as regular noodles. Quinoa. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the quinoa noodles. So now your sauce is in there. You're going to lower the heat and you're just going to let that simmer down. If you've got kids, I'm sure over the past year you've used that terminology more than once. Simmer down, man, simmer down. I'm just going to throw the rest of my onion in there because I have it and I don't want to waste it. So mine and Jen is going to be super oniony and super garlicky, and there's nothing wrong with that. Does anybody have any questions? Am I moving too fast? Okay. So you're just going to let that simmer down for a bit. and we will move on to our eggplant and our chicken. So there's two, oh, I'm making a mess. There's two options here. Dave, you're in the splash zone. So there's two options here. You can pan sear, or you can put it right into the oven. I prefer to either pan sear or grill my chicken as well as my eggplant before it goes in the oven for two reasons. One, I feel like it kind of locks in that moisture for the protein, and then it cuts down on the cook time in the oven, therefore not kind of drying it out quite so much. So up to you guys what you want to do. Pan fry or pan sear is probably the easiest for you right now. I am going to pan sear. And then for my eggplant, I will do the same. I'm going to have to use this little contraption back here. I don't know, can they see me back here? Okay, so for the pan searing, again, you're going to use the avocado oil. So a little bit of avocado oil in the pan. Spread it around. Doesn't have to be a lot. I would say probably like the entire meal is basically going to add up to about a tablespoon of oils, maybe. Did everybody make their cocktail?
Yeah, people are drinking their cocktail.
Oh, nice. Did anybody put alcohol in it?
Lonnie wants to know.
Oh, yeah, basically I want to know.
Put alcohol in their cocktail. Show of hands.
Yeah. How many fingers am I holding up? Okay, so sauce is good. Sauce is simmering away there. We're going to leave that. We're going to put on our pan to like a medium-high heat. I'll do the eggplant first, and then we'll do the chicken. Keep that oven on, by the way. So medium-high heat, you're going to let that pan heat up. And you could also do this on the grill. If you had like a George Foreman, or you have an indoor grill, or if you're outside, you could actually make.
Foreman. Oh man.
Would they know?
I think we just aged ourselves because you said George Foreman.
Okay, no, listen.
Do you also have it besides Jack LaLanne juicer?
Okay, yesterday, I'm going to tell you guys something. So yesterday we were filming something for the kitchen, and I said to Dave, oh, we should do it like I Dream of Jeannie, where she like crosses her arms and does this. And Dave, who was here filming all of this for us, said, who? And I immediately felt ancient. So now everybody probably is on here like, who's I Dream of Jeannie?
I dressed up as like I Dream of Jeannie for Halloween, like when I was younger.
Yes. Okay. So you're going to take your eggplant and just toss it in your pan. It should sizzle. Mine did not sizzle. It should sizzle a little.
So I heard that you can like splash a little bit of water.
Yes, it'll bubble.
Like,
If it bubbles, I just thought that, normally our stove runs very hot, so I'm like very cautious. I didn't want to burn it for you guys. And then I kept it so low that it just didn't do it. Anyway, so you're literally just going to put it on there just to get a little bit of color on your eggplant, and that is it. We're not cooking it all the way through because it's still going to go into the oven to finish off. So you don't want it. Well, you know, it depends too. Eggplant doneness is a very personal preference. So some people like firm eggplant so that it's kind of like meaty, and then other people love that like super mushy, almost jammy texture of eggplant. I don't, oops, sorry. Sorry. I don't personally like mushy eggplant. I personally don't like eggplant. Let's just be real. I was trying to find a nice way to put it. I just don't like eggplant. So anyway, so there's the story. I don't like eggplant. It's fine. I'm okay with it. Don't judge me. But yeah, you're just gonna get some color on your eggplant. Like so. And then just give it a flip and do the other side. No, only one of my eggplant got color. So let that eggplant get color. Mine's not getting color. I hope yours is, but mine is not. So in the meantime, we're going to cut our basil. So we're going to do a chiffonade of basil. This is the best way to cut basil, guys. So you're going to line up the leaves, one on top of the other. Jen, I know you know this trick. So do I. Honestly, basil, you want to cut it? No. Okay. Basil, I feel like, is one of those things you can never have too much of. And if you're making any kind of Asian cuisine, guys, and you've never used Thai basil before, you don't know what you're missing. Go and buy some Thai basil for anything that you're making that's like pad Thai, noodles, or anything like that. Okay. We're going to turn off the eggplant. It's got some color. So for your basil, you guys have 2 leaves, I think? 2 to 4 leaves. Use them all. So you're just going to layer them one on top of the other, like a little bed of basil. And then you are going to roll it into a little bundle. And then you're going to curl your fingers in so you don't want to cut off your fingertips. Fun fact, I've cut mine off twice. One, the same one. It grows crooked. It grows back though. It grew back twice. So then you're just going to cut thin little strips. It's called a chiffonade. The closer you get, the smaller the little spirals. And that's what they look like here. And that's all you got to do for the basil. So we're going to take half the basil and kind of keep it aside for later to garnish. And then the rest of it is going to go into your sauce right now. Give it a stir and then let that simmer. Al dente. So, do you see your eggplant has a little bit of color on there now? You're just gonna let that sit off to the side. We're gonna do the exact same thing with our chicken. So, if you're cooking the chicken, a little bit of avocado oil in the pan. Oh, I already did that. A little bit of avocado oil in the pan. Chicken is going to go in once that is ready and hot. I'm going to wait this time because I was impatient last time.
So my pasta is like pretty much al dente.
Okay, so no, I believe you. So you're going to strain your pasta, and you can keep a little bit of the pasta water if you'd like, but it doesn't necessarily work the same when you're using quinoa pasta. There's the strainer here, Jen. Oh, you got one? Huh. So yeah, it doesn't, saving your pasta water, which I'm sure some of you have heard of, when you're making pasta sauce or whatever, to kind of toss it in there. Thank you. It doesn't necessarily work the same with quinoa pasta because it's starchier. So it doesn't, for some reason, it just doesn't work the same. So you can save it if you want, but you don't have to. So chicken is going to go in to your pan, and you're going to do the exact same thing, just long enough to get some color. Thank you. I'm so glad that worked. Yeah, I was like, please let there be a sizzle. Oh, I forgot your bay leaf. Toss that into your sauce. So toss your bay leaf in there. I would like to be able to tell you what it does. I don't know. I've always had it. No, you take it out. You'll take it out. Yeah. It's it's one of those things, like my mom, I just remember always picking the bay leaf out of my whatever she made. I feel like she put it in everything. I don't know. Maybe it's like, I heard there's also like bay leaf tea is supposed to be good for you, and Oh, to take it off out of the shell?
I was like,
Like, why does everybody love this? So your chicken, you're just going to, for the sake of today, we will leave it a little bit longer in the pan. Normally, I would literally just sear one side, get some color, turn it over, get a little bit more color, but just so that we don't like prolong the cooking process, we'll leave it in to get a little bit cooked in the pan. Then you're gonna turn it over, cook the other side. It's just so that there's color. I just don't like it to look like pale. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Are you a fan of like chicken breast or dark meat?
I love dark meat.
Anything with a bone in it.
Yes.
I think that's like the Asian, it's like,
It's-
when I eat chicken wings,
Yeah.
I eat chicken wings with other people and they leave all the good parts on, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, my preference.
hard parts.
Yeah.
You're supposed to eat that.
No, like if you give me chicken wings, you'd be like, weren't there bones?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's also a West Indian thing. Okay, so you're gonna get either a sheet pan, a baking pan, something, you can either line it with foil or with parchment paper if you've got, or if you've just got like a bake pan that you're okay with cooking, putting in the oven, however it is. So I've got two here because I'm gonna put my eggplant on one and I'm gonna put my chicken on the other. So get those ready. Where did I do that? This is a great setup. I'm like, I wish I had this at home. If I live, I'm sure like you guys, a lot of you are like in a condo downtown. When I cook, I literally have to put a cutting board over top of my sink so I have enough counter space. Okay, so that chicken is done. It's got some color. It's got some color. It's got a little tan. And that's just gonna,
SPF 5.
it's just gonna go sit aside there. And then we'll do the broccoli. No, we won't do the broccoli yet. We'll do the chicken. So one of two things you could do with your sauce. So you can, if you've got a blender, you can toss it in your blender. If you've got a hand, what are they called? Emulsifier, like a hand blender, you could do it right in the pot. Or if you're fine with, if you like chunky sauce, you can just leave it kind of as is and just break up that garlic. So normally, I would say cook your sauce probably longer, just so that it kind of, all those flavors come together and your carrots are nice and soft and all of that. I don't know how long we have, so I don't know how long I can let this sit for. Huh? It's 8 o'clock? Oh, it's been an hour already? I've been talking for an hour, I'm so sorry. Okay.
I love listening to you talk.
Good thing, because I feel like I haven't shut up since we got on here. Okay, so can we see a show of hands who has blender?
If you guys have a blender, raise your hand. Oh, on the way. Oh, one.
Okay, so no blenders. I probably should have asked that question, then we could have chopped up the onion a little bit more. 3 blenders. Anybody have a hand blender? Aldo has a hand blender? He's lying. Just get a kettlebell and like put it in the pot and smash everything down. Okay, so I'm sorry guys. This is my first live cooking event with you, so I should have asked that question first, because then we could have like diced everything a little bit.
I like it, like, I personally like it like chunky.
Okay, but I didn't even tell them to cut the, did they cut the onion? Did anybody cut the onion? Or did they put it in their hole? Oh. Okay, so we'll just leave it chunky for
me.
Jen. So normally I would say I'm just going to make sure that these carrots are cooked. Normally, what you would do is you would let this let it simmer for however long. Like, I would probably let it simmer for at least an hour. The carrots are kind of crunchy, but I would let it simmer for about an hour. Oh, I forgot.
How did that taste? Was it crunchy? Oh, it's good.
Okay, you have a little bit of red wine vinegar there. So we're gonna add maybe like a teaspoon of red wine vinegar into your sauce. Again, thinking about that like acidity, you wanna find that sweet spot. You wanna feel it like here.
Like your face.
Like a little pucker, I think. That's my
What's
personal.
the difference between like red wine vinegar and like rice vinegar?
So just like the I guess I don't know what you call I don't know what the technical term of it would be, but like different ones impart like a different acidity. Like I feel like this is more like a deeper flavor, and then when you use the rice wine vinegar is more like is more flavorful. Like it definitely has like it adds to the flavor, whereas this I feel adds to the depth of the overall dish. If that makes sense. Mine tastes pretty good. Does everybody else's taste good? Okay. All right. So this is how we do. I'm like so nervous right now. Hopefully everybody loves their stuff.
Were you surprised at how good that tasted? I was like,
Who, Monique?
no, Kingsley.
Kingsley. Hi, Kingsley. Okay, so now how I like to do it, because we are not doing it in the traditional form, which is fry and then the whole shebang, I like to layer. So first I'll do the chicken because I want to get that one popped in the oven right away. So I like to layer my sauce and then layer everything on, and then put the chicken on top of it so that when it's in the oven, it's actually like sitting there in the sauce and simmering. So I'm going to show you that. So I like to put a little bit of sauce on the pan. It's kind of like a bed for the chicken. I'm just breaking up the huge piece of garlic that's in there. Okay.
Okay, we're not kissing each other after this.
Okay, good. Okay, so there's my little bed for my chicken. And then I'm going to, oh, this is such a bad thing I'm putting on. Get rid of that. Okay, then I'm gonna put my chicken right on there. I'm just gonna use my hands, guys. I'm the only one eating it. Okay, I'm gonna put my chicken on the bed of tomato sauce. And then I'm going to give it a little more sauce. Just a little bit. I'm gonna spread that out a little. Just so that, like, I'm gonna get rid of like all the chunky stuff on there, just so that my breadcrumb mixture just has something to stick to. Then I'm gonna take my breadcrumbs and sprinkle them all across there. Breadcrumbs, this is the breadcrumb, chili flakes, and hemp heart mixture. Then you can just pat it down so it kind of like adheres to the chicken. A little bit more sauce. Depending on how saucy you like it. My oven on? So imagine you're seeing the carrots in there, but if you blended them, you wouldn't see it, and it would really make this sauce even sweeter. Let's get some basil in there. Okay, so now you've got your sauce on top of your breadcrumbs, on top of your chicken, like so, and then you're gonna get your cheese. I like to do the mozzarella first, but yours is mixed, I think, guys, so it doesn't matter. So this is vegan, dairy-free cheese. It doesn't melt the same way as regular cheese, but that's fine. It's really good.
The dairy-free cheeses have come a long way.
Oh my God, so.
When I first realized I was lactose intolerant, my mom used to make it like on pizza. It would like snap off. Like,
yeah.
I had 3 seconds to eat it, and if I didn't eat it within
that was it? It was gone?
In the oven, it would snap.
So I'm gonna add a little, do you like spicy? You like spicy,
Yes,
right?
spicy.
So I'm just gonna add a little bit more chili flakes on the top. And then we'll garnish with that, the rest of the fresh basil afterwards. So that's what the chicken looks like. Now for the eggplant, we're basically gonna layer it. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start with a little bit of sauce.
Are all the meal options at Meals dairy-free? There's a dairy-free option?
It'll say, there's a tag that will say if it's dairy-free. At the moment, I think currently, as our menu stands right now, the only thing that has dairy is our waffles. That's the only thing. So now we're gonna layer. So we're gonna do layer of sauce and then eggplant. A little bit more sauce. I like to do a little bit of the breadcrumb mixture. Did I put breadcrumbs in here? Or it was just hemp hearts? Oh, there it is. So a little bit of that breadcrumb mixture. And then another little bit of sauce. Eggplant. Sauce.
It's an eggplant sour.
It basically is. A little bit of the mixture. And then the final piece of eggplant, a little bit more sauce. The rest of the, what is this stuff called again? Huh? Yes. Breadcrumb. And then cheese. Obviously, when I do this for the meal prep, I measure everything. So you can see all the macros. I'm not just like, meh, let's give them all half a cup of everything. All of the macros are on there, everything, all of the calories. Then we also do like same thing like we did for you guys. We do like an option of like a regular type, traditional type side, and then a gluten-free, and then usually like a third one is like a vegetable, like another vegetable, cauliflower, rice, or another side vegetable. Okay, these are gonna go in the oven. So in your oven, if you have convection, put the convection button on. So you want the hot air to kind of roll around this, so at least the cheese might melt. It does not always melt, just so you know. Don't be alarmed if it doesn't melt. Okay, that's it. Until the cheese melts. No, until you want your chicken to be 165 internally. 165? 165. Because we seared it, it'll probably take about 10 minutes. So, I mean, yeah, set your timer and we'll check it at 10 minutes. And then we're gonna, at the 10-minute mark when we're checking our chicken, we're gonna put our broccoli in the oven. Did we salt this? Does anybody remember if I salted it? Okay. All right. So we're gonna put, oh, I have another sheet. So whatever, if you have another pan, if not, we'll just wait until you're pulling that chicken out, and then you're just gonna put your broccoli spread out on the pan, and then that's gonna go in the oven. We're actually gonna turn the oven up to like 375, maybe, depending on your oven, to get that roasty kind of crispy edges of the broccoli. But you don't wanna overcook it, But honestly, this is like the best way to cook broccoli.
And the eggplant and the chicken both for another 10 minutes.
Yes, they're both in the oven. The eggplant is really, you're just, like I said, it's about your personal preference in terms of the firmness and the texture of the eggplant, and the melting of the cheese. So, I mean, if you're not lactose intolerant and you're like a dairy eater.
Very jealous of you if you are.
Yeah, I don't eat dairy, so this is great for me. So I have literally stayed away from all like cheese and non-dairy cheese because of that very reason. Like, it's never been appealing to me. And then we started using this company, and we also tried another one, BioLife, and they're great. Like, we use feta, like we do like a Greek style with like a feta, non-dairy feta, and it's amazing. It's awesome.
Goat cheese has less lactose.
Yes.
It's easier to find. For the zoodles,
Yeah, that's it.
that's it.
Salt them.
Do we just salt, olive oil, anything like to your preference?
You can, to your preference. So the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to salt them too early because they release a ton of, I was going to swear, but a ton of moisture. So they'll just be like soggy mess in your bowl. I'm going to get some plates. You chat. I'm going to get plates. Film her.
How is everyone?
MJ, are you watching? Oh. Oh. I just realized I was completely mic'd, and I'm like, hey, MJ, are you watching?
People want the BTS. I told you. They want the
Well, they just heard it. I was like rustling through my bins to get my it's a good thing I didn't mumble anything horrible under my breath. Could you imagine if I was like, oh my fucking God. I'm never doing this again.
Oh my God.
No, it's really fun. I'm loving it. Okay, so you can zoodle on the plate, pick a plate, and then pasta on the plate. I really like the quinoa noodles. That's good. That's a good amount. And of course, a little bit of salt. I'm sorry if your carrots are still hard, guys, because if they were softer, you could just blend them in. Yeah. But it's also, okay, so it's a good way also, like, we used carrots here, but other things that you can put in your pasta sauce are fennel. Fennel is amazing in pasta sauce. You can just chop it up. You can give it a little sear in your pan with like your onions and your garlic, or roast it with your onions and your garlic, and then toss it in there and blend it up same way. If you're trying to get more greens into your life, you can blend your sauce and then add do that same, the chiffonade that we did of the basil. You can do that with some spinach, I like spinach in it because it kind of wilts down. It's nice and soft. But you can.
The taste isn't overpowering.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Taste like
Yeah, and it doesn't taste like you're like overloading it with greens. You can also add celery, which I don't know. Does celery even have any nutritional?
I mean, who here is on the celery juice cleanse?
I don't have enough time to juice celery, so.
Get that Jacqueline juicer out.
Yeah, it's right next to my George Foreman grill and my I Dream of Jeannie VHS. Do you guys know what VHS is?
Do you know what it is?
Okay, so we're gonna. Did anybody put on a timer for your chicken? Because I certainly did not.
I have like 2 minutes.
2 minutes left?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 minutes left. Are you guys done on your chicken? It's 10 minutes. Oh, he has plated already.
What?
Monique has 3 minutes.
Can I see?
Yeah,
I want to see.
come here. Bring your plate up, Leah.
Wow.
Send pics.
Send pics, yeah. Wow. Okay, next time Leah's going to be the sous chef.
Wait, what's that supposed to be?
No, nothing.
I'm naming the feed.
Yes. Okay, so we're just waiting. Anybody want to? We just have to. Did Leah already cook her broccoli?
Leah, did you cook your broccoli already? She's taking IG photos already, so she must be done.
Damn. Okay, fine. Let me see yours. Can I see Leah? You're on my screen now. Oh my God, that looks so good. That looks amazing. Okay. I'm gonna put my broccoli in. Does everybody? Because it's about 10 minutes, right? So we're gonna put our broccoli in. I'm gonna leave the chicken in until my broccoli is done, just to be on the safe side. So I've just raised the temperature of my oven just a little bit, just to get my broccoli roasted off. Chell already ate? Oh. Does anybody have any cooking questions that they want to ask while we wait? So we're just like not, so Jen and I aren't just like gazing at each other? Okay, we've got just under a minute, and then we're gonna plate everything. Well, Leah can just show you how to do it, because she's already plated hers, and never mind the broccoli, because Jella already ate hers. And what else? Is that everything? We just have to wait for it to be done?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, she roasted it.
She what?
She said she roasted it.
Okay. We've got, oh, ours is just about finished. I'm just going to check the temp so that I don't take your life accidentally. So my broccoli is pretty much done. So if you can see the broccoli, here, I'll bring it up there. You want to have like little charred pieces on there, so it's a little bit crunchy. And you can also just add a little tinge more salt if you want. while it's still hot because it'll just stick to it.
They're looking good, guys.
And then our eggplant and our chicken. I'm just gonna check the temp. Oh. There we go. Okay, my chicken is gonna stay in for another 2 minutes, but I'm gonna take the eggplant out.
Eggplant.
Okay, what do you want? Put eggplant with the pasta or eggplant with the
Veg on veg.
veg on veg?
Veg on veg. Tastes
So, is it good? Oops. So we're just gonna slide the spatula or whatever you've got underneath so you get all that sauce. Slide it onto your plate. Don't leave anything on here. It makes it all that much better.
all the sauce.
All the sauce. You can add the extra on top of your pasta. Whoop. And then you're just gonna give it that little bit of fresh basil on top, that little fancy chiffonade that you made. And if you have a zester, you can zest some lemon on there. It's also really good. You're gonna put your roasted broccoli there on the side. And if I did have a zester, I would probably zest a little bit of broccoli, a little bit of lemon kind of all over. And then if you've got any more cheese left over, you can just give yourself a little sprinkle of the parm on your broccoli and on your noodles. Clean off your plate. I don't know if you can you see? There's your very healthy eggplant parm. I'm gonna let Jen do the honors. And then as soon as the chicken is done, we will, oh, of course. I have all these, there you go. And then we're gonna do the same thing, guys, with our chicken if you've made the chicken. Good? Same thing, you're gonna scoop it all up so you get all that sauce that underneath, that little boat that it was sitting in. And just slide it off. Keeping all that sauce.
Did you see this? You missed it. I was telling everyone how to do this trick.
Oh, what's that?
Upside down.
What?
Thanks to TikTok.
Well, see, you can learn everything from TikTok. Also, I use my spin bike at home as my food pedestal. Definitely, I don't ride it. I just take pictures on it. So there's your little zhuzh of Parmesan. Your broccolis. And there you go. There's your chicken parm.
Amazing.
That's it, guys.
Very nice.
Yeah, I want to see.
You can come here.
Here, I can put my.
On a gallery view.
Hi, Jella. Hi, everybody. How is it? Good? Okay, good. If you like it spicy, you can add more of the chili flakes on top. If you love it super garlicky, you can grate a little bit of fresh garlic on there, or when you're making it, keep some of that roasted garlic aside and just put it on there at the end, or use it with your broccoli. But that's about it. That's all.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, Monty, for all the tips and tricks. And a little peek into, day in the life of a little celebrity chef.
Oh, yeah.
No big deal.
You know, it's nothing.
Maybe next time we can force her to teach us how to make the carrot cake. But
Oh gosh, that's a family secret. No, nobody's getting the recipe to the carrot cake.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, anybody who is tuning in on YouTube. Yay. I totally forgot, Dave, that I had a mic on when I'm like,